Hello and welcome back to Pharma in Class. I am Anindya Goswami from Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education, Indore, and we are going to start a new topic, that is evaporation. You will find the chapter in Unit 2, and this is the second chapter of Unit 2. As per RGBP syllabus, we have to study about evaporation, the objectives, application and factors influencing evaporation, differences between evaporation and other heat processes, principles, construction, working, uses, merits and demerits of steam jacketed kettle, horizontal tube evaporator, the climbing film evaporators, forced circulation evaporator, multiple effect evaporators and the economy of multiple effect evaporators. So let us come to the basic part, that is we'll start with definition. So basically evaporation, theoretically it means simply vaporization from the surface of liquid. Practically evaporation is defined as the removal of liquid from a solution by boiling the liquor in a suitable vessel and withdrawing the vapor, leaving a concentrated liquid residue. Thus, evaporation is a unit operation by which a solvent is evaporated from a solution by boiling the liquor in a suitable vessel and withdrawing the vapor, leaving a concentrated liquid residue, and that is the product. So evaporation, finally we can define, taking the practical as well as the theoretical aspect in concern. It is defined as the process of vaporizing large quantities of volatile liquids to get a concentrated product. Yes, it is quite similar to other heating processes also, yet quite different also. So one by one we'll study what actually evaporation is, and then also we'll differentiate between evaporation and other prominent heat processes, like the most commonest one, that is drying or maybe distillation or maybe crystallization. So there also, here in those processes also, this part is quite common, that evaporation. So evaporation, it is the process of vaporizing a large volume or large quantity of volatile or sometimes maybe also non-volatile liquids to get a concentrated product. That is the product which we get. Here we get a concentrated product, and in terms of drying we get a dry product. But in drying process also we have to vaporize the liquid, and we have to make sure the solve or the slurry or the sample does not contain any moisture. But here our raw material or the starting product is a liquid which is containing huge amount of solution which is containing huge amount of liquid in it. So we have to evaporate it, and then we get a concentrated product. Next, come to the objectives of evaporation. So to make a solution more concentrated, and generally we concentrate the extracts in this particular method. Extracts, all the plant extracts basically obtained from the plants, and after the extraction process the extract is concentrated by the help of the evaporation process. Now come to its mechanism. When heat applied in solution in motion of molecules, the motion of the molecules increases when it is applied, and the molecules present in the surface, they overcome the surface tension of the liquid and evaporates, because of the surface molecules have less cohesive force than the molecule which is inside. Next, come to the applications of evaporation. It is quite important, most important process used in the manufacturing of pharmaceuticals. Basically it is used for the preparation of liquid extracts, soft extracts and dry extracts. So all the form of the extracts we can concentrate, and further we can dry it, as well as we can prepare into a soft extract, as well as we can prepare liquid extract by the process of evaporation. So evaporation is a common process, common unit operation in preparation of all these extracts. In the concentration of blood plasma and serum, not only for the slurries or solutions of plant origin, but also we can concentrate some biological fluids also, like blood plasma as well as serum, that we do because we want to get access to certain chemicals, certain drugs, certain constituents inside the blood plasma or into the fluid or into the serum. So we have to concentrate them. We can concentrate them by the process of evaporation. It is also used in the manufacture of drugs containing antibiotics, enzymes, hormones and many other substances. Next, I told you that evaporation is having a marked similarity as well as differences between some other very relevant and very related heating processes. So let us see what is the difference between evaporation, distillation and evaporation and drying. So first and foremost we are differentiating drying and evaporation. So in drying, the main operation is carried out generally on solid or moist materials, maybe the example of powders or products. And in evaporation process, the main operation is usually carried out on liquid material like maybe extract, like maybe solutions. Drying in most of the cases means the removal of relatively small amounts of water from the solids, whereas evaporation includes the removal of huge or large amount of water from the solution. Drying involves the removal of water at temperature below its boiling point. Evaporation involves the removal of water above the boiling point, that is by boiling the solution. In drying, water is usually removed by circulating air over the material. We have already studied drying, you know. So here in drying process, the water is usually removed by circulating the hot air over the solid, and in order to make sure that the solid gets rid of the moisture. Whereas in evaporation, water is removed from the material as pure water vapor mixed with other gases. So simply it is a vaporization process. We heat it and the vapors are formed, and that's how the vapors are getting removed, and that's how the moisture, the solution, the material is getting concentrated. Next come to the difference between evaporation and distillation. In evaporation the vaporization takes place below the boiling point, whereas in distillation method vaporization takes place at the boiling point. This is a very marked difference between a distillation and evaporation. Otherwise, to obtain the distillation process we have to evaporate. So, but yet there are certain differences as well. Evaporation takes place only from the surface of the liquid, whereas distillation takes place from the entire liquid mass. Next, the evaporation process takes place below boiling point, so no bubble formation occurs in evaporation generally, and at the boiling point, in case of distillation, at the boiling point, since it takes place so liquid, they can form bubbles. Next, evaporation is not necessary the separation or purifying technique, whereas distillation is basically a separation or a purifying technique, and it is routinely followed for all the extracts, particularly the plant extracts also. Evaporation is a comparatively slow process, whereas distillation occurs rapidly. Of course, there are certain factors in which this slow or fast will definitely depend. Next come to the difference between evaporation and vaporization, another common heating process, as well as evaporation and crystallization, which is another process where this evaporation part or this evaporation part comes into play. First and foremost, let us see what is the difference between evaporation and vaporization. So, evaporation is a process by which liquid changes to its vapor at a temperature below the boiling point, and in case of vaporization, the process by which a liquid changes into vapor at its boiling point. So, evaporation and vaporization is not the same. Commonly we mistake generally between the two terms, but it is having difference, that in the evaporation the water or the vaporization occurs at a temperature below the boiling point, whereas at vaporization it occurs at the boiling point. The liquid changes into vapor at the boiling point. Now, evaporation takes place at all temperatures, whereas vaporization takes place only at the boiling temperature, that is almost a fixed temperature. Temperature may change during evaporation. Temperature during vaporization does not change, whereas it is a slow and a very silent process. It is a violent and a fast process, the vaporization, because we can see the constant on the heating and the formation of vapor. It needs it is constantly a violent process. Why violent process? Because the movement of the vapors we can just see in the vaporization process. Evaporation takes place only at the surface of the liquid, as we already know, whereas the evaporation takes place over the entire mass of the liquid. So this is a very vital difference, quite important, but at the same time quite similarities are there, so the difference is to be known properly. Next come to the difference between vaporization process, evaporation process and crystallization process. So both methods are used to separate a soluble solid from a solution, because in terms of concentrated solution also, which we get after evaporation process is done, we can separate maybe the liquid concentrate is containing some solids. So when we are evaporating the solution and we have concentrated it, so inside that concentrated product, we can have some solids also. And in terms of crystallization process, after the supersaturation process is occurring, we have to separate out after the formation of crystals has occurred, after supersaturation of course, and then we have to separate the crystals from the mother liquor, and that process is crystallization. So there is a bit difference, and there is also similarity also, that both methods are used to separate soluble solid from a solution. Come to evaporation. It is used when the soluble solid does not decompose upon strong heating. And when crystallization, in terms of crystallization, we can see it is used when the soluble solid contains water of crystallization. Now come to what are the drawbacks of this evaporation process. Now any soluble impurities may also be present after evaporation, but crystallization process is a method of purification of a solid. So it is advantageous in terms of that the pure solid is collected in the form of crystals. Next, a very vital point, what are the factors which actually affect the rate of evaporation? So there is an equation we can see mathematically. The rate of evaporation depends on different factors. The relationship may be expressed mathematically as M proportional to SL into VA minus VP divided by P, where M is the mass of the vapor formed in unit time, that is the rate of evaporation. SL is the surface area of the liquid exposed to the atmosphere. VA is the maximum aqueous vapor pressure of air. VP is the pressure exerted due to liquid present in air. P, that is at the atmospheric pressure. So rate of evaporation is also proportional to the 1 by the atmospheric pressure. So from this equation, that is M proportional to SL, VA minus VP divided by P, we can say that what are the factors which affect the rate of evaporation. Next, let us see the factors one by one. We'll first classify, then we'll come to the details. So these are the factors, these were evident from the equation also. 7 factors, they basically affect the rate of evaporation: the temperature, the surface area, the agitation, the atmospheric aqueous vapor pressure, the atmospheric pressure on the liquid under evaporation, the type of the product required, and the economic factors. Next, come to one by one. Temperature, the rate of evaporation is directly proportional to the temperature. Yes, we already have seen. The surface area, very important one. The rate of the evaporation is directly proportional to the surface area of the vessel exposed to the evaporation. So if we want to improve the rate of evaporation, we can take a long or a vessel having a good or a greater surface area to evaporation, rate gets faster. Agitation, a shortly important point, it is necessary for evaporation. That means if we agitate, then rate of evaporation will definitely improve. Next, atmospheric aqueous vapor pressure. The rate of evaporation is inversely proportional to the atmospheric aqueous vapor pressure. Next, atmospheric pressure on the liquid under evaporation. The rate of the evaporation is inversely proportional to the atmospheric pressure on the liquid under evaporation, as I already mentioned. The type of the product required, that is also important, that how much up to how long we have to do the process, evaporation process. So the selection of the method and the apparatus to be used for the evaporation process, of course it will depend on the type of the product we require after evaporation. And the economic factors also, that is when selecting the method and apparatus, the economic factors are definitely important.